Welcome to the Car Guys. This week I've been naughty. Damian's gone on holiday, so I've decided to come back to 4-Star Classics and buy the Integra. Well, I have to say that I wasn't expecting to be back here quite so quickly after our test drives of the 205 and the Integra a few weeks ago. And don't forget to check out the videos that we did on those. But the Integra blew me away so much, and it's such an iconic hot hatch that I just had to buy it. Now, this doesn't mean by any way, shape or form that the hot hatch search is over, because it most definitely is not. There's too many other really cool things out there, and you guys have done an amazing job of leaving us some brilliant comments. But this one had to go, and we kind of decided at the time that it was bought. I mean, you can remember from the video that we did earlier that it just was an amazing car. The driving position, the engine, the way it handles, it just blew us away. So Damian decided to go on holiday, so I thought I'd surprise him. He has absolutely no idea. I thought I'd surprise him, come back to 4-Star, pick up the Integra, and then see the look on his little face. Right then, here we are in the Integra Type R. Amazing! Really excited. Just literally driven straight out of 4-Star Classics. Jim, who sold me the car, absolutely amazing chap. We spent the last 2 hours just talking about cars, because that's what you do. Brilliant chaps down there. So look, just come up the road, set the cameras up on the car so that I can talk to you and tell you about it, kind of first impression. So let's get cracking and see what we can do. Okay, off we go. Oh, this is so good. I tell you what I didn't notice last time that we drove this car is it's really quite low to the ground. I mean, really quite low to the ground. You do feel like you're in a kind of a bit of a sports car in here, which is amazing, obviously. Everyone says there's no torque down low. There's not actually no torque at all. It is all right. I mean, you can make fairly swift progress. You don't have to be in the screaming nutter bastard area of the rev range. But it is short ratios, but that's good because it's not designed to sit on motorways. So going back on the motorway is going to be fun. I instantly remember those feelings that we had when we test drove it a few weeks ago that made me want to come back and buy it. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. It needs bits of paint done on it. It needs various different just tinkering and stuff to make it absolutely perfect. But it is correct. So the seats are good, in good condition. The engines feel strong. Gearbox feels tight. At least the linkages feel tight. So it was just had to be bought. It just had to be bought. Despite this being an absolute lightweight pocket rocket race car for the B roads and the mountain passes of Mount Fuji, we're now cruising along the Holzbach at a steady 70 miles an hour. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It is quite revvy. I mean, we're in top gear and just over 4,000 RPM, so obviously it's gonna be a little bit noisy, but you know what, actually it's not that bad. Right then, so day 2 in the Integra. After picking this car up yesterday, which was an amazing experience because 4-Star Classics were brilliant about the whole thing. We had a great afternoon talking about cars and drinking coffee and just generally chewing the fat. And then of course that long schlep back on the motorway, sitting at almost 5,000 RPM, which was deafening, slightly tedious, but yeah, it was all right. It was not too bad. Now today, what I thought was I'd take her out for a kind of twisties blast for the first time and just see what it's like to have this car running round the type of roads and the type of RPM that it's actually designed to do. So the first thing I noticed about this was that when it's cold, it's fairly reluctant to do anything gear wise. The gearbox has to be nicely warmed up before it wants to do anything really. You can't hurry it or rush it, and in fact a couple of occasions trying to get it into first and reverse have been interesting. But now we've got the car nicely warmed, and that's another interesting thing actually. This car, it never gets to halfway up the temperature gauge. It just sits solid, like every proper Japanese car you know probably always will do. I have massive amounts of confidence that this car will just go for a mega amount of time, never having to miss a beat. You do find yourself, because of the amount of RPM that you can use, getting into top gear fairly quickly. So we're doing roughly 40 miles an hour, we're already in 5th. And we're still pulling nearly 3,000 RPM, so that's a thing that needs to get used to in this. It's not a low down torque car. This is definitely a high revving race car type engine. So we're gonna, it's quite late in the afternoon, so we need to be a little bit careful, but we're gonna get it round to some twisty roads and see what it can do. And we've got our couple of favourite corners coming up, so let's see what this alleged front wheel drive hero can actually do, shall we? Oh yes, pitch it in, front washes a bit, right, pull it out. Oh, VTEC! Oh my god, this thing sounds like a racing car. That's amazing. Sorry, very high pitch there. I do apologise for all of the dolphins and dogs out there that are now screaming. Oh my god, that's incredible. Pitch it in, power out. Woohoo, a bit light there. We're going VTEC. Oh. So pitch it in. Pull it straight. Oh my goodness, that's addictive, isn't it? This car has a bit of a party trick, like all powerful front-wheel drive cars do, where you can spin the wheels in first to second, means that you can spin the wheels. Should we give it a go? Oh my god, how good is that? Oh, that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. And did you hear the kick when it went into the VTEC zone? Oh my god, VTEC zones. Why don't all cars have VTEC zones? Stuck behind a tractor, so let's have a bit of a rest. I've noticed there is a very annoying, sounds like a rattly heat shield. That has got to be fixed. That's not fun. You can absolutely feel why everybody raves about how good this is as a front wheel drive car. The composure and poise is just amazing. Such great feel as you push it into the corner. And this gearbox just adds to it. I mean, the fact that you can just sneak another gear as you're going up and down, oh, it's just brilliant. I think the pedal weights on this are also brilliant. You have, they're not so light that every time you touch the brakes your head goes through the windscreen, and they're not so heavy that you can't feel like you have to push really, really hard to make it do anything. Whether that's just the age of the car or not, I don't know, but it certainly gives you a lot of confidence. Because this car is so very light, these tyres don't seem to have a decent level of grip. The front doesn't seem to grip quite as well as I want it to. I think that's the weight of the car, so I'm going to start looking for some super soft tyres. So any of you guys out there that have got recommendations for what to stick on the front of one of these would be really appreciated. Don't forget to leave comments below. Also, this car's missing its spare wheel, so I want to kind of get a hold of one of those guys as well, just to kind of complete it. Other than that, the car's in really good condition. I mean, it needs a bit of paintwork and a few touch-ups here and there, but it really is a very nice example. I mean, these Recaro seats, they're an interesting colour. Not sure whether the blue is because they're faded or whether the blue is a natural thing that was just part of the original car. But they're great and they're really grippy. They're proper old school Recaros. One of the other things I absolutely adore about this driving experience is that it feels like an event every time that you get in it. From the way that the engine reacts when you put your foot on the accelerator, the noise it makes, the slick gear change. I mean, this gearbox is a joy to use, an absolute joy. It's very low to the ground, so you definitely feel like you're driving something like a touring car from the 80s. The steering is perfectly weighted, so you have no... The only thing I would say about that, about the steering, is it probably could do with a slightly shorter rack. There are quite a lot of turns lock to lock on this, which does mean that you end up having to cross your arms. So this is quite a tight turn and we can only just get round it. That is a bit of a pain, but that's like a minor thing. You can move your hands around the steering wheel. We're not racing drivers. So this is the legendary double overhead cam engine produced by Honda with the special VTEC technology. Variable cam timing. Uses oil to change the profile of the cams. Now when I was a kid, to change the profile of the cams, you basically had to put new cams. So this kind of revolutionised all of that. It's still lacking on mid-range torque. Not that bad. I mean, the car weighs just over 1,100 kilos and, you know, we've got nearly 200 horsepower, so it's not exactly slow, but still it's that extra bit, that 2000 RPM when that VTEC kicks in is absolutely electrifying. One of the great things about buying a second-hand car is some of the stuff that you can find in all of the various different cubby holes and things. So this particular car, because it's a Japanese car, has got the flare that comes with it, the emergency flare that you stand on the side of the road and hold up as soon as you've broken down, still has that attached to the car. Fantastic. But the other thing that I found was a little cubby hole next to the steering wheel. Down here on the right hand side, guess what I found in there? A genuine Japanese radar detector. How cool is that? That goes to show that this car has not been a garage queen or mum's shopping car, which incidentally you couldn't do anyway because the boot's cardboard. So there we have it, the Integra Type R. Just an amazing car. So pleased that it's in the collection. A front wheel drive hot hatch collection would not be the same without one of these in it. Lots of people have seen it, lots of people have said how nice it is as an example. I'm so pleased with it. I want to thank the guys at 4-Star Classics because they were absolutely brilliant. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave comments below, ding that notification bell, and most importantly, subscribe. And we'll have a new video coming soon. Thanks.